I'm the lead inspector and lead instructor. Today I would like to talk about the lead violations in New York. When we say about lead, actually we mean lead paint, or actually we mean lead-based paint. And lead-based paint is defined as a paint which contains more than 0.5% of lead in the paint. Lead was banned in 1978, and actually New York was banned in 1960. So in theory, buildings built after 1960 in New York don't have lead paint. Three agencies regulate lead on the federal level. These are EPA, HUD, and OSHA. Of course, OSHA regulates lead for the construction and also has a provision for the worker lead protection. These two agencies regulate actually lead abatements and lead control and monitoring. Also, we have a New York City law, which is called New York City Local Law 1 law. This is law which regulates lead in the rental units and also regulates child protection from lead poisoning. The question is, who issues violations in New York City? Actually, there are two agencies who issue violations, and pretty much they trigger lead business in New York City. These are HPD, Housing Preservation Development, and famous DOH, Department of Health. And these two agencies are very eager to control lead situation in the city. And when would you, as a landlord, for example, when would you get the violation from HPD? Well, this is a typical case when somebody who you rent the unit for dials 311 number and complains about the apartment condition, for example. And then this would be directed to the HPD unit. HPD would dispatch an inspector who would actually check the apartment for the condition, and of course they would also check apartment for the lead. And what they do, they assume that the paint contains lead. So pretty much for them, it's always LBP assumed. They would check condition and they would issue, if the condition is poor or inadequate, they would issue a violation letter to the landlord. And now in this case, a landlord would actually have to hire a contractor who's lead certified by EPA, and the renovation would have to be done, which would be followed by the lead inspection by the dust wipe method. This is one situation. Another one, if you have a case with DOH, Department of Health, this will happen when we have a case of the child lead poisoned. It would happen when the child go to a doctor, they do blood work, and they find out the child has a elevated blood lead level. This would trigger actual inspection from DOH. These are usually much more detailed inspections, because actually DOH would have an instrument which would check the lead content of a paint. So they will actually look for the condition of the paint and the lead content, and they would issue also a violation ticket, which would require from the landlord to do abatement in this case, not renovation like in case of HPD, but this would be actually abatement. Now, landlord has to hire the abatement contractor, and they will have to conduct a lead abatement, which would require to remove the paint which is contaminated, or actually enclose it by installing protective layer on top of it. Of course, these two situations would have to be followed with the inspection of dust, which would be created by these inspections. So these are examples when a landlord, or actually people who have apartments or have units, would have a violation and would have to issue with lead and a remediation or abatement of it. If you have any questions, you can call us. We will be glad to help you. Thank you for watching.